Hi there, welcome to Call to Cinema, and I am Aaron, and welcome to a very special edition of Reviewed and Ranked. In a way, it's a double Reviewed and Ranked, which I'll explain a little bit in a few seconds here. Now, I was sent some copies by Millcreek for review, and we're going to look at these here right now. I'm going to give you the skinny on each of these titles. I'll try not to give too much away. That's one of the things that I try to do, try to make sure that I do in my review is not give too much away so that there's a lot left for you to discover. First up is John Wayne with Catherine Ross playing his daughter, Vera Miles playing his estranged wife, and Jim Hutton is also in Hellfighters, where basically he plays he's a firefighter. But not just any firefighter, it's a firefighter in the, I want to make sure that I get this right, plays Charlie Buckman. Basically he goes to fight some of the bigger stuff, the oil fires and stuff like that. This is a pretty good John Wayne film, but I'll be honest with you, this is not one of the faster moving, faster paced John Wayne films. More is gone so kind of into characterization with this film, and a lot of people will find this to be more slower paced as to what they're used to getting with John Wayne films. Now, if you like John Wayne, though, you're going to like the Duke anyway. Of course, he's out of the normal element of playing he's not a Western hero in this one, but he's always plays the hero nonetheless, of course, except for that Genghis Khan movie, but the less we say about that right now, the better. And I didn't mind that for what it was. But this does have a fantastic cast in here. I think Catherine Ross is in this. She's really good, but I think she's a bit wasted in the picture. She plays his daughter. It's very much of a melodrama type, but it's a fun little interesting one. If you're a John Wayne collector, I don't have to sell you on this. You're going to buy it anyway. Next up is one that, I'd done 4-minute skits, 4-minute skits on Saturday Night Live, and eventually they said, you know what, let's make a movie out of this. And how does this Saturday Night Live skit film work? Well, this is MacGruber, so obviously it's a takeoff on the MacGyver character from the 80s. And in every skit, MacGruber would always be MacGyvering his stuff up, MacGrubering his stuff up, making things to stop a bomb, and would always explode. He'd always pretty much kill everybody. There is kind of a sequence sort of like that in here. Now, if you look on back, like for instance, if you're a wrestling fan, right there. For those that don't know, that is Chris Jericho, Mark Henry, the Great Kelly, Kane, Glenn Jacobs, and of course MVP. They have I don't want to give it away, but they have a part in this film. The bad guy in this is Val Kilmer. I will not say his name on camera, but you can look it up, or you can watch the movie and find out. This is silly. This is a silly film, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I really did. I watched this movie after I watched the next one that I'm going to talk about, which made it even better for me. I was in the mood to watch something really silly, and not every joke, works for everybody, but there's enough jokes here that, yeah, I think overall, if you like this style of humor like I do, I actually really enjoyed this film, then you'll like MacGruber. There's been talk at times about doing a sequel to this. There's been talk about like a MacGruber TV series. Will Forte is really, really good. He really goes into the role here. Christine Wiggs, she's great in everything she's in, isn't she, man? Ryan Philippe, again, awesome in the role that he does. And Val Kilmer as the bad guy, so good. I found this funny. I really found this funny. I'm laughing just thinking about the film. What's it about? Well, MacGruber has long retired, but his arch nemesis, who killed his wife years ago, has come out is basically got his hands on a nuclear warhead. Now, he thinks MacGruber's dead as well. He thinks he killed both MacGruber and MacGruber's wife, or about to be wife. But MacGruber comes back on the grid to take down Val Kilmer, and with surprising results. Next up is Scars of War. a Vietnam foreign movie collection. Now, only one of these films really deals with Vietnam, as in people in Vietnam. Other ones deal with Vietnam in a different way. There is an utter genius to this set. This is Scars of War. When I said I'm going to be doing a double reviewed and ranked, I'm going to do my regular reviewed and ranked, where I rank all these films after my mini reviews here, and then I'm going to review and rank these 4 films. We have Casualties of War, Brian De Palma, Alan Parker's film Birdie with Nicolas Cage and Matthew Modine. We have Louis Malle's Alamo Bay, and we have Summer Tree here, one of the only two films that were directed by actor Anthony Newley. And I'm going to get in. I'm going to give a review on this one at the end because I'm going to rank these films. So there you go. That's all you're going to get for now. So you're going to have to wait. And last but definitely not least, the final entry in the golden era of Ultraman came out finally, and it is Ultraman Leo. So this is the Steelbook edition of Ultraman Leo. It's really sexy looking, actually. And this is the standard edition. As always, there's the part there that you put the put the mural together. This one's not open yet. I just got this one today, but it's the same one as this one here. So I watched all 51 episodes for review purposes here, and this will be my go-to. Normally, I put the steelbooks back, and these are the ones I normally watch. But this came in a few days early, so I put these on. And this one actually just came today. So to show you some more artwork in it. So there we go. It is a more serialized Ultraman than the earlier seasons. Definitely, it's more serialized. A bit darker too. It kind of goes back to Ultra 7 in the darkness of it. Like it really does go into the darker aspects of the series. There is an Ultra character at the beginning in the first episode of this here that gets his leg crashed. So he's in a wheelchair. Not a wheelchair. He's wearing like a brace type thing. I'll move this aside here, just to show you guys the inside of it. But Ultra Leo is like the way he's put into it is pretty unique. In that like there's new Ultraman characters brought in for this season. We get let me just take the book. There's a book for this as well, which is fantastic. These Ultraman sets have been nothing but utter joys for me. Brilliant sets. And if you like Ultraman, if you like Ultra 7 especially, you're probably gonna like this one. Because it does go back to some of the darker aspects of the show. As you can see, there's the monster gallery there for each of the episodes. They give you the Ultraman Leo, his look and like his stuff, release and legacy. A really good write-up, by the way. This was really interesting to read. Subaraya Productions, of course, did all these. We get the new character of Astra, who is like the brother, right? Brother of Ultraman Leo, I think. And we get Ultraman King, who's new to the series as well. We can see Ultraman King, and we get like a new kind of like an overarching villain with the show, and he is on the back of the box right there. I really enjoyed this series. Ultraman Leo, it starts out right away. It literally starts out with a fight. There's no like waiting around. There's no like wondering what's going to happen with Ultraman Leo. Basically, it just literally starts in the middle of this like massive fight with Ultra 7 is fighting these two monsters, and like it's a vicious fight, and then a third guy comes around, and then all of a sudden we're introduced immediately to Ultra Leo, who comes in to save the pretty much this to save the day. And we haven't been introduced to Ultraman Leo in any way. We don't know who is. Like normally we'll get something where basically somebody will be hurt, and then Ultraman, one of the Ultra Brothers will come in and like join in with them and save them type of thing. Now Ultraman Leo was like right from the beginning, right out of the gate. We meet Ultraman Leo right away, and then we meet his who he is, Gen Otori, his human form. And basically, he's different in the way that he was an Ultraman that was on another planet, and his planet was destroyed. So he's come to this new planet, and I think the character's name is Magma, and the guy, Magma, alien Magma, who destroyed his planet, actually has come to Earth, and because an Ultraman gets hurt, he takes over and becomes the Ultraman that pretty much helps defend Earth. And there's an episode. It's more serialized and it's darker than like some of the earlier Ultraman shows. It's like you've seen stuff like Ultraman Ace where it gets a little bit cheesier, and I like the cheesiness. And this one has its cheesy moments too, but it goes in a darker way. And honestly, I like it, but I know that at the time some of the kids may not have been as bigger on the darker, more serialized aspect of Ultraman Leo, because after Ultraman Leo there wasn't another Ultraman, I don't think, to Ultraman 80, which was an anime one. And I hope the hell they put out, because it's a really cool one. You can't go wrong with any of these Ultraman sets. If you like Ultraman at all, if you like Kaiju, if you like Sentai, honestly, there's no reason that this should not be in your collection. The only decision you got to make is, do you want to buy the Steelbook edition of it with the cool like numbering on the side, or do you want to buy the standard bigger box edition of it with the cool mural on the side? Because all 7 of them go together and make up a mural. I'm not quite sure if the Ultraman 80 one will be part of the mural. I think they may be, although you do see, there is part of a hand off there, so you never know. There could be another part to the mural yet. But this is the last of the golden era of Ultraman. So what does that mean? That means that there's no more coming out. Yeah, there's more coming out. There's a lot more Ultraman to come out, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see what comes out next for Ultraman. But let's put these in order, shall we? So in last place, it was an okay film. Wasn't my favorite, but if you're a John Wayne fan, I don't have to say on it anyway, it is Hellfighters. Interesting little film, but I think more my dad like style than me when it comes to that. But again, a fun film. Up next in I guess in third place is MacGruber. I really liked MacGruber. I did. It's silly. It's crazy. You use celery in a way I've never seen celery used before, and that was a fun film. And I just watched The Scars of War, like 4 films, and this was a great like buffer afterwards. So if you get Scars of War, I recommend getting MacGruber as a buffer for afterwards, because all the darkness. Second and first place was really hard. Why? Because one of them is one of my favorite shows of all time, and the other one is a set that I think everybody should have. So you know what? Third, second, tie. And a tie for first place, we have the Scars of War Vietnam 4-movie collection and Ultraman Leo, the final set in the Ultraman Golden era. We're going to another era of Ultraman next when they put out Ultraman 80. And of course, hopefully I'm getting the new Ultraman sets as well. They're freaking fantastic. I love every one of those. But there we go. Now, why did I say I was going to wait till last to review these? Because here's your second review to ranked. 2 for the price of 1. Not bad, huh? There are 4 movies on this set. If this set was put out at any other time, this should have got more. What's the word? It should have got more play and got more notice than I think it did. I think this is flying under radars. This has Brian De Palma's Casualties of War, which is an utterly brilliant film. We have Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn and surrounded by an incredible cast, including an early role for John Leguizamo as well as Diaz. And basically, what this has to deal with is they are in Vietnam in the middle of the war. One of their platoon is killed in an ambush, and it kind of makes Sean Penn's character snap a bit. And one of the characters doesn't need that to snap. There's something definitely wrong. He's broken. He's the guy that you see that is going to do well in a war, but not for the right reasons. So they kidnap a Vietnamese teenage girl, and they take her from her village, and they take her with them. Michael J. Fox is shocked and tries to talk them out of it several times. It does not end well for her character. This is a true story. It's based on an article that was put out in the Vietnam War, and apparently Brian De Palma had been wanting to make this film since he read the article, but it took him years to get it made. Apparently, Platoon came out, I think, and success that he had on a previous film, which is probably Dressed to Kill, got him to finally be able to make this film. Now, there is another version of this story that was done from another country, but I haven't seen it, and I don't think Brian De Palma has either. It's a hard one to find, based around this here tragedy and what happened. It is a fascinating film. You will not be able to take your eyes off it when you're watching it, and it is dark, and it reaches into a dark part of your soul. And there's certain sequences. So, trigger warning here. There is sexual assault, and it's pretty brutal on this film, and so know that going in. That is a key element of this film. Like, it's not how Last House on Left, but it is disturbing. It is definitely is disturbing. But it was a brilliant film. The next film I watched was Alan Parker's Birdie, a very different film dealing with Vietnam, the after effects of it, and mental illness. Nicolas Cage meets up with the character Matthew Modine. Matthew Modine plays a character who's nicknamed Birdie, and it's basically he's really socially awkward, but he befriends Nicolas Cage. Well, Nicolas Cage befriends him really, and they become real close friends. But you start to see Matt Modine's character become more and more disturbed as it goes on, and not just because of Vietnam, but Vietnam definitely heightens it. We see Nicolas Cage at the beginning of the film, because most of this is told in a non-linear style with flashbacks. We don't get to see much of Vietnam. We see the after effects of Vietnam. Nicolas Cage he's scarred up. We'll find out why later on in the film. He goes to see Matthew Modine's character, who is in an asylum. Basically, he's going to an asylum. He's in like a hospital, a Vietnam vet hospital, in a room by himself where he has to be fed, and he doesn't speak, and he doesn't make any type of sounds, or he just sits there naked half the time, moving like a bird, like a pigeon, looking through side eye looks, moving his head away, having his arms up like that. And it's a different film. It's a unique film. It's a challenging film. Nicolas Cage's character, he's playing the normal one this time. Nicolas Cage is damaged on the outside. His face is damaged from going over to war. Matthew Modine had gone missing, and when he came back, this is what he was like. And he is mentally damaged. So you've got one person that's damaged physically, one person that is severely damaged mentally. It's a really interesting tale. I love the way that it was done. It's a bit slow on the uptake, but I think it's worth it. for the tale that it tells. Alan Parker, of course, did movies like Fame, and did a ton of big films. But yeah, this is definitely worth the watch and worth owning. Bruno Kirby, a young Bruno Kirby's in this as well. Next up was Alamo Bay with Ed Harris in a truly despicable role. We also got Amy Madigan and a small role for Carolyn Williams. If you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 fan, you'll appreciate seeing her show up in here as well. Alamo Bay is set around, I think, 10 years after Vietnam, definitely a while after Vietnam. And Alamo Bay is the area where, I think it was in Texas, where there's a Vietnamese community. And there's a lot of people that have come over from Vietnam. They've relocated. But there is a lot of racism within this town and not a lot of acceptance by a lot of the people. This is a film that deals with that. Definitely, let's not lie here, it's still relevant, unfortunately. And we get to see Ed Harris's character, who seems, slightly likable at first, spiral into villain territory, to be totally honest with you. When it finishes up, he's a villain. He's really the villain of the film. There's a what's his name? And I don't want to butcher the name, but it's Ho Nagayan. I probably butchered that. I do apologize. And Donald Moffat, by the way, from The Thing, is in this as well. He does a fantastic role in this film. Ry Cooder does the music, and as you guys already know from previous reviews, that I'm a huge fan. Again, really liked Alamo Bay. It's definitely more like this one. Like we had one here that deals with like Vietnam, the horrors in war. We got one dealing with the horrors after war, and now we're dealing with the horrors long after, with relocation and some people not being able to get past the war, which is Ed Harris's character. With when war and poverty makes them into a rampant racist, to the point where they bring in white supremacists and the Klan to get people out of their town. It's a challenging film, but it's a story that needs to be told. And now on to Summer Tree. Summer Tree is uniquely different than the rest of these three films. Summer Tree was originally a stage play. Now, Michael Douglas had went out auditioned for Summer Tree, the play. He did not get the role. Kirk Douglas bought the movie rights to Summer Tree, and they made the film. Summer Tree deals with Michael Douglas, and he is in college. And his father, played by Jack Warden. His mother is played by Barbara Bel Geddes from Dallas fame. She was Ellie Ewing, Miss Ellie. And we have Brenda Vaccaro as the girlfriend, and you have a small role for Rob Reiner in her as well. So he's in college. He's drifting. He plays guitar. He's unsure what he wants to do with his life, and he eventually becomes a big brother after seeing it on the news, seeing basically an ad in between the news, and he gets this kind of cool like kid by the name of Marvis, and most of the story, like the brunt of the story, is his life and how he finds himself. He eventually finds himself. He finds what he wants to do. He finds what he wants to be. He meets this nurse played by Brenda Vaccaro. They fall in love. He finds out that she is still married, and her spouse is in Vietnam, but she does not want to be with him. She said, like, basically they're broken up. And then I don't want to give too much away, but this deals with the draft and what happens after that. But Summer Tree spends a lot of time in the build-up to that. The draft is near the end near the end of the film, the last maybe 20, 30 minutes or so. It takes its time to build up Michael Douglas' character, to build up and talk about his family, his friends, his circle of friends, his life, him going from like being pretty aimless to figuring out exactly what he wants to do, what happens when he gets a draft card, and how that's going to play out. These were 4 fantastic films, but these were 4 really dark films. The most uplifting out of these 4 films, if there's an uplifting portion, is the one that deals with mental illness, which is Birdie, which is by Alan Parker. Alamo Bay by Louis Malle is good. It does turn a bit into like, near the end, almost like an action film, but then spend most of his time already talking about like racism and displacement, stuff like that. But still, I thought it was a good film. Casualties of War is Brian De Palma. I'm a Brian De Palma fan, but this is a brilliant war film. Summer Tree is different than the other 3 of these, and in some ways might be the most depressing. So let's rate these. Let's rank them. In 4th place. This is hard, actually. Because I liked all these films. But I promised you I'd rank them, so I'm going to rank them. I make a promise to keep it. In 4th place, we will put the most uplifting, some of the best acting in a film. And when I say 4th place, remember, all 4 of these films I liked. I'll put Birdie. It's a great film. It's very uplifting near the end, even though, it's never going to end well for either of these guys. And in 3rd place, I will put Alamo Bay, Louis Malle's Alamo Bay. In 2nd place is Summer Tree, which I think is underrated, and I think a lot of people will go into this here not having seen and not knowing what to expect. And that's good. Go in as blind as you can. And for me, in 1st place, it's Casualties of War, which is utterly brilliant and devastating at the same time. This is a great set, guys. This is a fantastic set. If you want like some serious movies with some fantastic directors and some hard-hitting acting, you want this. John C. Reilly is in, one of the first people you see in Casualties of War. The opening sequence is very tense. It's very brilliant. Birdie took a while for me to kind of get into the characters, but I was fascinated to see where it would go. Alamo Bay, I was never sure. I mean, he pretty much like his Louis Malle, so it was different, but it was definitely a different film from Malle. But he does a great job. It did seem to almost go into like here's the bad guys. There's a shootout type thing near the end, but still, I thought it was a fantastic little film. And Summer Tree, I had no idea where it was going when I went in. It was this drama. They were showing Vietnam footage on TV, and I wasn't quite sure. Like I didn't read the backs on purpose until afterwards. But yeah, it got me. All of these, by the way, are in their original aspect ratio. So 2404 by widescreen for Casualties of War. 185 for Birdie, 185 for the rest, actually Alamo Bay and Summer Tree. All of these have fantastic directors. All these have fantastic casts. All these are extremely well done. But still it ties with Ultraman Leo because I love me some Ultraman. So there you go. May releases from Millcreek Entertainment that I think should be in your collection. But if you can only pick a couple, if you only pick two, put these two in your collection. This because everybody's, because you know what, this is going to be like kind of depressing a bit and a little bit afterwards, but they're going to be fantastic films. They're going to be rewarding. But afterwards, you're going to watch some Ultraman action, and you're going to feel pretty good about yourself afterwards, because just some really cool stuff. Thank you for watching Reviewed and Ranked. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I want to thank Millcreek for getting these releases out to me, and utterly brilliant stuff. Thank you guys so much, and have a fantastic day. Get some of this goodness in your collection. I don't have Ultra Q, I don't think. So if this is the end of the mural, then I gotta go back. I gotta go up. I've been meaning to buy it anyway. Like hopefully next month I'll go back and buy Ultra Q as well. I'll get the standard edition of that so I can get the mural on there. It's the only one that I don't have. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time on Reviewed and Ranked. Hope you like this kind of Reviewed and Ranked double. And yeah, Ultraman and Casualties of War, very different, but excellent releases.